So
yeah, there we go.
that's why, guys, you do see the link on the bottom here, dmzack.com. So if you want to try out it for free, I always tell our people, just try it out for free. You don't have to buy it. I just always try it out because there are a lot of softwares out there, but I always recommend just try it out. Like, even if you don't want to like use it, I would just try it and see, because you could find some really good deals just from trying that out and get you some deals. So,
yep. Yeah, it's 7-day free trial, and then if you go through that, I mean, you're going to get $30 in credits, which is, I mean, that covers quite a bit of skip tracing, postcards, all of that inside the app as well, which you wouldn't get normally just going through our website. So, wanted to hook you guys up and make sure that you were set up.
Skip traces would that be?
Yeah, we will definitely get into that.
Okay, let's get it. See how many free deals you can get, because honestly, probably get your first deal in a week if you really put pedal to the metal.
Yeah, I mean, if you can, we've had people on our YouTube channel who it was literally the fourth house they called. They landed the contract, so it can happen. I mean, if you want to set yourself for long-term success, what I show you today and the systems and processes that I show you today, like, this is how you do this for sustained success, right? Not just one-off deal where you happen to talk to the right person at the right time. But if you want to do deals, every single month, then hey, this is the stuff that the pros are doing to do that. So
awesome.
Yeah,
let's get into it.
Awesome. So to kind of begin with, and I'll pull this up here. I'm in the drive tab right here. Assuming you have Deal Machine already, assuming you're out there ready to drive. Just to give a quick heads up too, we've got a mobile app as well. So we've got the mobile app, and then here's the desktop version. They look extremely similar. The mobile app, really, really easy, where you pull up the map just like this as well. But where I really recommend people start is before they even get out there and, spend any time driving around or getting out there to figure out like how to drive for dollars. If you have, we have one thing within our data and one feature here. If you have this highlights feature unlocked, highly recommend starting here, just because you can use data to really help you get started and really help hey, what are the areas of town that are really likely to have these motivated sellers? So yes, definitely, I don't want to give you too many hoops to jump through. Like, it's great to go out and just drive your own neighborhood, because what a deal looks like there best. What a house looks like that stands out from other houses like this. But if you have the ability to start on your desktop and use this highlights feature, this is a way to really use data to inform you on, hey, here's where I should be going. So if I hit the highlights button right here to start off, Zach, going into this, I will use this as a way to really, essentially filter out properties around you and find great neighborhoods that can help you kind of plan your route and help you get, before you get in your car and before you start driving. So, looking at this, a couple of, immediately a couple of things I can point out. You've got a lot of quick list filters right here. So you've got things like, hey, vacant properties, or, properties in the foreclosure process, or properties probably owned by investors because the owner of multiple properties, or properties that, absentee, even fun things that are new now, like zombie properties, assumable mortgages, senior owner, all kinds of quick lists here. And starting here, I mean, even just going in, if you just simply start off, create a highlight and say, hey, yeah, like let's find houses that were year built before 1992. So that it's at least a 30-year-old home, just because it gives you a higher opportunity to go find a property that needs some love and care, that needs some updating. You can go through that. You can say, hey, yeah, show me properties that have a calculated value of, greater than 150K. I'm in St. Louis, so that's a pretty good baseline here. Yep, I got enough zeros there. Cool. And you're just adding on these filters, and you can get really specific, or I like to keep it pretty broad, where I can put those two things on, and then also say, hey, show me a property type of single family home. We're going to be looking for single family here. So if I confirm all those things and then hit apply highlights, you're going to see a ton of highlights already start to pop up in neighborhoods that fit that criteria, right? So this is a great way to start off and show you, like, yeah, this area of town, they're older houses. They're houses that fit that particular criteria, and they're houses that are single family homes. So I know, hey, these are all properties that, which I've got a lot of. Here we go. We got the filters going on. If I drive through this neighborhood, all of these different blocks right here, this is a great part of town for me to start driving around, because they have houses that, they're a little older. They've got some meat on the bone to wholesale them because they're worth at least 150K, and they're single family. So, Zach, are there any other filters that you really look at right away of saying, like, yeah, like this is a good buy box or a good?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what I could tell you is we can get in this a little later with reverse drawing for dollars. But
There we
my
go. Now I've got
biggest secret for drawing for dollars, which I found really good places, is if you can find pockets where you've already done deals. I've
Mhm.
always found deals are really close to each other.
Yep.
Like I did one really good deal on a code violation, right? And I just drive for dollars around that area where that code violation was. You can pick off like 2 or 3 more deals. And when
Yep.
I was doing direct mail, I found most of my deals came from like only 3 zip codes, like 80% of them. And so
Yep.
when I have my team drawing for dollars, they only use those zip codes because 80% of all the deals are in there. It's insane.
Yep.
You can't really pull a list of that, right? You got to do some deals first. But in my opinion, that's the best spot because they're really hot areas too. So if you could find places where you see your competition doing a lot of deals,
Mhm.
I would go after those zip codes and go after them. Then when you're in that zip code, I can go after the vacants. I can go after high equity. I can go after there. But when it comes to the top ones, a lot of your cash buyers too, right? Like we're talking about in this market where a lot of cash buyers are getting a little more pickier. Some, like in St. Louis, they
Mhm.
might not want to be in a high crime area. They just don't. And so they're like, don't do this zip code, but I really like this area. Okay, roger that. So if my cash buyer really likes the zip code in St. Louis, let's find an ugly house there. I get the deal under contract and know exactly how to sell it to them.
Yeah.
That's what I really like. But
Love those tips. Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Combining what cash buyers are telling you and then data to put those two together to say, hey, here's what a good property looks like, and here are the areas that we're already buying in. That's, especially in this market, really, really good place to start. You're kind of reverse engineering that to listen to what the investors are doing, to look at where deals are happening, where activity is already happening, and then start driving in those areas. So love that. Make sure to use the highlights filter if you can to be able to combine those two things together and find properties that fit their buy box in areas that activity is happening. So love that. I won't mess with the mobile app here for you guys today, but the desktop, again, it's very, very similar. And once you've done this, once you've gone out, gone in the desktop version, looked, done those highlights, figured out exactly where you're going to go. Essentially where you can go from there is you can pull out your phone, pull out the mobile app there. Everything that you do on the phone syncs to the desktop as well. So everything you're doing here is going to sync to your phone and, vice versa. And really going here, it locks onto your location. So if you have the mobile app pulled up,
I got the mobile. I'll show everyone the mobile app after. I got my iPad here.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Love it.
Show you guys after.
Cool. Yeah, perfect. So it locks on your location just like that. So you'll see your blue dot pop up right here. And as you drive down the street, it'll drive.
Oh, I think this thing paused for a second, but there you go. You're good.
Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So the satellite view up here in this map, this top left button, map options, a lot of people like that too. Makes it a little easier to see the specific houses, right? But I'll stick to this kind of standard grid view for this. But going down the street, it locks on your location and drives with you like this. And really, you see, as you're driving for dollars, you're getting to know your market. The whole point is that you're looking for physically distressed properties. You can use this and just within the map in general, you'll see these blue pins pop up, right? Those pins are ones that I've added as a lead already. So those are all properties. I've been in this area quite a bit of St. Louis, but if you drive down, you'll be able to drive around and see these blue dots pop up as you add the leads. And you'll see also these blue dots right here. You got the blue pins for the lead. Blue dot is also properties that have an MLS status. So let me find one. Here we go. So it's had an MLS status within the last 12 months. And this is data that we have for literally every single state. So non-disclosure states, everything included. You can go in here and see this one was sold, and you can click into it and see, okay, this was sold in 2021. You can see the listing price, days on market. You can see more about the listing agent, all of that. So you can use this as a way to also kind of filter out leads if you want to stay off market or see properties that have recently sold and avoid those, right? But the simple as it can be, it locks on your location. You drive down the street and you just see all these properties popping up around you as you're driving around. So as you do that, you drive through here. Again, you're looking for the houses that have the siding falling off, gutters in rough condition, windows or roof in rough condition, weeds through the concrete, even things like, I'll use this example a little bit. One of our first hires, he was practicing what we preach using Deal Machine, got his first deal, and it was a property that had Halloween decorations up. and it was like March.
Oh yeah.
So like, things like that, just for whatever reason, that owner just isn't keeping up with it, right? So
yeah.
Mhm.
I'll tell you this, like I've always found this drawing for dollars, and you let me know if it's true. But like if there's even something that seems off,
Mhm.
just put it on. Just it's better to have that than not,
Yep.
because I've had so many deals where like one little weird thing was off, and that was the thing that just showed it up, So yeah,
Yep.
man, like a little Santa Claus out there, like something that seems weird, just add it on. It doesn't matter.
Yep, absolutely. I would say definitely be more liberal with those leads of what qualifies as a distress. But as you're going through this, you see all these black dots pop around you. So say I see 5503 Rhodes, might be say it's a rundown property. Okay, cool. I click on that particular property, can look and see, okay, hey, it's corporate owned and not great equity. Probably not an ideal lead there.
Yeah, it was sold in 2021 too.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're driving down the street here, there, let me turn this for you guys. If you click on 5518 Rhodes here, awesome. This one's got good equity. This one's sold in 2003. This could be a good lead. If you saw this being physically distressed, as you drive around, is a physically distressed property, I always look at recent sale date. Look at owner type. So is it owner occupied? Is it absentee? Is it vacant? What's the the owner information about that property? Like what's the owner type? And then look at the equity percentage. So all those things combined up at the top here are a really good way to help kind of qualify that lead as you hit add lead. And as you drive down the street, you just hit add lead, boom, you've got that pop up right there and on to the next one. So simple as that. You're tagging them as you go. I also highly recommend as you add those leads, if it's a house that is a higher level of distress, or it fit your highlight, or is one that you want to really focus on, spend more time on. Another quick pro tip for you is really adding tags to those leads.
Yeah.
And within the mobile app, it's really easy to do that. You can just see the tags pop up right away, and you can hit add tag. But hitting that right there, you can mark that as high priority. And that way, whenever you jump into work your lead list later, which I'll show you here in a few minutes, that entire process, you can, then organize your leads and say, hey, show me all the high priority leads that I've tagged. And that's where where to start. That's where to really focus your time.
Okay.
Going through this as well, I would say the list of leads that we're, creating right here as we're going down the street and, tagging properties here. These are all leads that are going to show up now in the mobile app as well. So, if I'm on desktop, if I'm on mobile and I'm going through this, they instantly sync up at all times. So everything you're doing here, you're doing there, and you're building the best list out there on both at the same time. You're finding those physically distressed leads, which, again, is the number one indicator of a motivated seller. You're finding the leads that have way less competition because you're out there actually building this list that no one else has. That makes it way more likely that it doesn't have other people bombarding them with offers, right? And you're taking this proven process and using tech to save you time and do more deals and bigger deals. So wanted to start there. Is there any questions popping in, Zach, that I'm happy to answer a few before I get into the virtual D4D stuff?
Yeah, I'll get into it. But one thing I could always tell everyone when you're drawing for dollars, I think one of my favorite parts about this, and I've said it a million times, but it's like no one else can buy this list. You have to earn it, which I heard you say before. I've been screaming it forever, but so many people are in Phoenix. Some parts of St. Louis can get a little bit saturated too. People are out here in parts of California, Atlanta. They always go Zach, it's just so annoying. Everybody says to pull this list from the service and then just cold call it. And I got to spend $4K I have to spend $4K in skip tracing, spend all this crazy money. Everyone complains oh, I got to pay gas money. I'm like, the amount of gas money you spend and the amount of work you have to do, when you pull 500 drawing for dollars leads, that's equal to pretty much 5,000 calls. And it's going to take less time. It's going to cost less money. It's less headache. You're doing less work for more. And so if anybody's watching this right now and they're like, oh, I'm so sick of this market, there's too many people, guys. That's good because there's a lot of buyers, but nobody's willing to do it. And I think that's the problem a lot of people have. They're just not willing to do the work. This is so much easier. And have a good time with this, right? I used to drive for dollars. I remember when I was in, I was coming back and I was kind of getting back into drawing for dollars. That's what I was talking to David. I remember Travis Scott dropped his Astroworld album. And I was so excited for it. And so I made it a thing. I wanted to listen to him. You know what? No, I'm I'm gonna listen to the entire album, but when I listen to it, I'm gonna drive for dollars. And it was fun. I had a great time.
Love it.
And like, you just have to have a good time while you're doing this. I think a lot
Absolutely,
of
man.
people make it like, oh, this is work, guys. Like, have fun while you do it. Do
Yep.
something you never like want to enjoy, and then enjoy it while doing it. And it's amazing, guys. But
Yeah.
let's see some questions we got really quick.
Yeah, I see some good ones in the chat, and that's a really good tip too. Just like having fun. I mean, that's gonna go a long way. Like we see people who, I mean, they will listen to podcasts and stuff while they drive for dollars. Like they're learning as they do this. We see people who go with their family, and it's literally like family time while they're also driving for dollars, and it's a whole family unit like looking out for stuff. We see people like you said, listening to whatever new albums drop. Like they have some fun while you do this. So, yeah, so I can answer. Oh, here we go. How long is the free trial? Good question. It's 7 days. So if you use that promo code now, or if you just do dmzack.com right there, that'll be the 7-day free trial to try all this stuff out. If you stick around to the end today, when I'm done through all of this stuff, we do have a special offer that I can share just with Zach's people of saying like, hey, because I know you guys are ready to take action, and really for the people who want to like fully commit and invest in themselves, like I'll give them an option there at the end. But if you're just trying it out, then hey, just go to dmzack.com and 7 days free and give it a try. So,
does Deal Machine have access to the Maricopa County homeowner information?
Yeah, we've got Phoenix is. I mean, every single state we've got MLS data. I saw someone ask about that. When you skip trace, you can skip trace one off or skip trace in bulk in Deal Machine. I saw that as a question as well. So you've got a couple different options, and I'll show off the skip trace in the mail and all of that for you guys here too in just a minute. But just getting started here. Excited to do the full deep dive for you. So
what I want to do is I want to break this down too. If I don't know if it's got to be in the app or something, but like one of my favorite reverse drawing for dollars things is I don't know if we're on that yet, but like I love reverse drawing for dollars to pre-foreclosures just because they're so motivated and it just gets bombarded with texts. And there's like, it's really hard to get a pre-foreclosure deal until you start reverse drawing for dollars.
Yeah.
So if I just want to like pull a list, or let's say, for example, I have a code violation list or a probate list. How do I put that into Deal Machine so I can reverse drive for dollars that?
Yeah, love that. So your first option is physical driving for dollars. Like that's one way you can go about doing this.
Yeah.
Second option is the reverse D for D. Like I love that strategy in general, and it's something that I think the people who are willing to go that extra step and be able to physically contact people through either a sticky note or a door knock or anything in person like that, the response rates to those are phenomenal. So to be able to go through that, if you hit this leads button up here, right? So you've got drive that I just showed off. And this is, again, very, very similar to this in the mobile app. But you've got the drive map right there, leads right there. Say you have, any kind of outside list, whether it be, you can pull a list, which I can show that off briefly here too, but you can pull a list of pre-foreclosures in a certain area. You can hit and have a list of that, inside a Deal Machine itself. Or like what you're talking about here, you can hit add leads and import list right there. And that import list button, that can be any list from anywhere that you've, bought through any way or built in any way. And when you import that, it'll open up a list inside Deal Machine. So here's an example, expired listings. I've got 15 properties right here in Phoenix, actually. So talking about Maricopa County. And when you do that, you see this drive this list button on the right side. That is your reverse D for D. That is how you time. Yeah, that's how you go in. Yep. And then hit drive list. And man, that's going to be exactly what you're talking about there of like, in the mobile app, it will import your GPS right, or import that right into the app and tell you, hey, for these 15 properties, go here, then here, then here, then here, then here. And this is the fastest route possible to get to all of them. It'll take you roughly an hour, 20 minutes. And hey, you're going to be able to hit up, every single, if you're talking about pre-foreclosure, like that's the way to do it. That's the way to make it really easy to get in front of every single one of those owners.
Yeah, I say, because these pre-foreclosure leads, they get so many calls from loan shark companies, credit card they don't answer when you try to call them. And that's kind of a foundation of drawing for dollars is just cold calling that list. But the problem is if this person's getting bombarded with like a debt collective service, they don't answer their phones. So it's absolutely amazing. So that's how you do that. My other questions is before we get into virtual drawing for dollars, because I went just for my drawing for dollars people, and I'm going to twist your arm on this. You see a lot of people that, I'm just being honest, suck at drawing for dollars, say Deal Machine's the worst, and it doesn't work because they just don't put in the work. And you see the people that just make so much money with it, right? What's the biggest difference in your opinion on people that are really successful with it and the ones that just don't?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I would say, really honestly, it's not rocket science. It's the people who put the processes in place and commit to those processes where they actually put in enough leads, they follow up enough times. They're actually, building a really substantial list and marketing to those people where, whenever you don't have success with a strategy like this, it's typically because you gave up a little early. Like, you didn't put in the work that's needed to get to that lead. And we'll see people. I mean, you talked about 400 leads. That's a pretty good barometer for most cities. I mean, if you're in a super competitive city, like even a Phoenix, it might be a couple times more than that. But if you're in most cities, you're looking at, a couple hundred leads up to 400 leads or so. Or if you go out there, you build that list, it's truly qualified leads because it's physically distressed houses. Again, that's the number one indicator. And then you market to them. When we look at our data, if you send one marketing piece to somebody, and it's even if it's a good lead that's going to sell, you're actually missing out on that deal 81% of the time because you just didn't catch them at the right time. Like, you didn't follow up enough to be the one that's top of mind, that when they are ready to sell and when they do have a really acute need and are actually motivated, that they didn't reach out to you first because, they have, maybe other people are reaching out, or maybe they have other options or things like that. So it's, being able to reach out multiple times. If you only do it once, you're missing out on the, over 80% of deals. If you reach out 3 times, you're still missing out on, looking at the data, 51% of deals. Like, over half of deals, it takes more than 3 touch points to do this. So the people that are really successful, they've built a good list of leads. They put, processes in place to consistently get out there and start driving. And whether it's they themselves or somebody else for them in their app, like, is driving and adding leads for, creating this list. And then they're consistently marketing to them. We recommend 6 to 12 times, but as many times as you can to really make sure that, hey, you're getting on their radar and you're the one that they think of when the time is right.
Perfect. And then I see you guys talk about all the time, like, reaching out to these leads, right? You got direct mail, cold calling, text blasting, reverse drawing fillers, like all this. Like, which one do you think works the best, and which one do you think is not? You should probably avoid.
Yeah. So I think what's interesting, in terms of response rates, and this can be kind of all over the board. I think our most successful people that we see, they're doing a creative mix of things. So, having just one touch point, going only with one strategy, like if you just do mail, if you just do text, if you just do call, you're missing out on a lot of people because people respond in different ways and people respond to different marketing, where you might have, somebody who's going to respond to a text, but they're not going to respond to a postcard, or vice versa. Somebody who responds to a postcard, not going to respond to a cold call, or might not trust that. So our most successful investors, they're doing a combination of things. They're doing what we really call is this marketing mix, where they're doing short-term marketing, meaning something that you can get, a quick turnaround, quick feedback response to, like a call, a text, a door knock, things like that, where you're immediately getting feedback from somebody. And then they're also combining that with long-term outreach, which is automated marketing that drips over time. So that way you stay top of mind. And that's like sending a postcard once a month to somebody. And that way, and you can set it and forget that. Like, you can do that inside a Deal Machine, where you hit send postcard, say, send this once a month. I'll show that to you guys here in a minute. But you can send that once a month, and that way it's going to drip over time. And doing those two things in combination is going to give you the best chance. I know, just from a pure response rate perspective, I think text, might be a little saturated as of now. But I think in general, like the best answer is, I would say, doing a mix of things and doing it on a consistent long-term basis. So
awesome. And then one thing on a selfish perspective, right? Because we kind of know exactly how to do the team thing, and I tell a lot of people do it, but I honestly really haven't utilized, you guys have this crazy recruitment portal and driving teaching thing. I haven't even really been through it too much, just because I'm like, hey, here's the app, just go do it for me. But how does that work? Because obviously, if someone's looking to scale a little more, right?
Yeah, that would be if you're, and I would say if you're more, like you said, scaling more like the more experienced investor side, or somebody who's ready to really invest in a bigger team. We do have a teams option on Deal Machine where you essentially get, like you said, a recruitment landing page. So it generates a link for you. That's a landing page that basically pitches the idea of joining and driving for dollars for you. So you can post that link anywhere online and post it in, Facebook groups of like, hey, looking for side jobs in St. Louis, or, people who, share it with people who are Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, they're Instacart, they're Amazon, they're out there already driving. So you have a landing page link that says like, hey, here's what driving for dollars is, apply here. And if they fill out that page, then you get an email saying, hey, they're ready, here's, contact them now. They're ready to join your team on Deal Machine. And then we also have under that teams plan, you can share essentially their training videos. So you could say, hey, yeah, okay, I've got this application from somebody. I get in touch with them. I say, hey, I'm going to send you a link to train up and onboard into Deal Machine. And they go through that link. They'll get a series of training videos that by the time they're done with it, they know exactly how to drive, where to drive, what to look for, basically be ready to go. It's like a starter kit, right out of the box. And they get onboarded into your app and they can just start adding leads for you. Now, they won't market to those leads. They won't like, skip trace or send mail or anything like that, but they're going to start, they'll be ready to go and start building that list for you. So.
Okay. And I know I can add users on it too.
Yeah.
So just for someone who's got like maybe an acquisitions manager, like a couple of them like being like, hey, you're out on this deal, drive for dollars on your free time or something, like for like what, 19, 20 bucks, you can add another user, right?
Yeah. And I know our starter plan, that you get one user there. Our pro plan, you get 5. So you can actually start adding some drivers. And then if you do our like the recruitment and all of that funnel, that plan, the teams plan like that upgrade, you can have up to 100 drivers. So you can get out there and build a whole army if you want. So, which we do have people doing that, but
it's crazy. But if you are guys looking to scale up, like I see so many people trying to scale a big cold calling operation or SMS text blasting, but like it's really effective because like just think of the power of one person hustling. If you get like 10 people doing it for you, they don't have to be as good as you. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to find an ugly house. Like I get my sister to do it, right? Like she doesn't do real estate, but like I can get any of my buddies to start doing it. I pay them 15, 20 bucks an hour. Good to go. Right. So yeah, I've been telling everyone to do that. I've been even telling people like, hey, if you're really good at closing, find someone that's kind of nervous to talk to sellers and just have them drive for dollars and split the deal. It just anything you can do to get it. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that using your strengths, like you said, and have people go out and drive for you. If you're comfortable like calling or getting in touch with the seller and talking yourself, like it's an easy way to pitch and be a great combo there. And we see people that either pay hourly for a driver, they might pay per deal, they might pay per lead even, where you can go in and check the quality of leads that they're putting in the Deal Machine. That's one other pro tip. Like when you add a lead on the map right there, it actually prompts you to take a picture of that property too. And that picture, that's something that's going to appear on the postcard if you actually send direct mail to that person, to that particular seller, right? And when they take a picture, if you hire somebody to go drive and they're taking pictures for you, that's a really easy way to just validate, oh, that's a good lead, let me send mail to it, because you can see in the picture, oh, it's physically distressed. So
awesome.
Cool. So yeah, love the questions. You want any other questions, or want me to jump into the virtual stuff? Or
let me see a couple more questions. We can get into it.
Go for it.
Let's see. So they pop up on you.
Yeah, they've got.
I think a lot of people have questions about the list polling because there's obviously other softwares that do it.
Yep.
How could you stay on? Do you have people like pulling lists from there, doing regular cold calling, text blasting, like from there, right?
Yeah, we have people who use the list builder as well. I think they're most powerful in tandem. So they're most powerful if you're doing driving for dollars by getting out there, adding leads any way you can, whether it's you, whether it's another driver that you hire, building your list that way. And then if you add list builder onto that, which Zach, you want me to show that off really quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pop it up here real quick.
Do that. Doing that list builder in tandem with it, really list builder in general, like this is something that we tell people, hey, if you have more money, more resources, but less time, like if you can't possibly find time to go out and drive or virtual drive, then this is a way you can just add a ton of leads that could be really high quality and do it in literally 60 seconds. But the best combination is if you're doing that list builder in tandem with driving for dollars. So that way you're kind of getting the best of both worlds of the original list that you built yourself, the sweat equity list that is going to be less competitive and more motivated, in addition to these broader lists that just take, that can be really, really quick to get access to. So, this list builder, you can see it up here as well, or right here. But if you just click list builder, simply pops up right here. And you've got, literally thousands of data points that you can jump into. You've got, the foreclosure types, vacant, absentee, expired. Again, some fun newer filters down here, like the senior owner, zombie, properties, assumable mortgage, things like that. You can create your own filter. So you can come in here and just say, hey, yeah, I'll create my filter. I want to see, in whoever said, what was it, Maricopa County, right? Maricopa County, cool. Let's look in the entire county, and let's look for properties that, are vacant. And that's going to be pretty massive probably. So this might take a bit to calculate, but you can go in here and just right away, it's going to in real time show you, hey, there's 10,000 leads that are vacant houses in Maricopa. Or you can come in here, and if you've, like you said, within St. Louis, if you're looking at a very specific area and you don't want to just pull that entire county, hey, start drawing, hit the draw tool, draw around this one specific, a couple blocks right here. And you can see, oh, there's 5 vacant leads right within that. And you can, if you zoom in a little bit more, you can see those actual leads pop up in real time. So, this is all stuff, everything that we do, every single property, it updates daily. I think I saw that question as well. This data updates daily as well. So, whether it be, through Driving for Dollars and you want to look at the owner and look at what's sold and all of that, or it be through List Builder, like these leads update daily. And going through this, it's a smart list as well. So if if say you went to a property that was, absentee owned and, high equity, let's look for, equity here, equity percentage, greater than 35, let's call it. Cool. Confirm. You've got 14 of those in this area. Say that, one of them sell, it's no longer absentee. It's going to drop down to 13 automatically. And it'll stop any mail you're sending to them. It'll make sure that you're optimizing your time, optimizing your marketing budget, and do that every single day. It's daily updating. So you can just pull that list, hit build list, and simple as that. You've got 14 leads right there that are, within those 2 blocks and absentee owned, high equity, and there you go. So you've got a couple options here how to build that list within Deal Machine like that.
Awesome. All right. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Trying to pop this guy up. I talked to a guy on my podcast a while back, Justin Peters. I remember he was the only guy I've known besides me that scaled up a Driving for Dollars. I remember he did 100 deals just off Deal Machine in a year, his first year.
Yeah.
It was like 2 or 3 years ago. It was crazy. But
there's a guy, Ryan Haywood is his name. He's out in North Kansas City that we'll have on our YouTube channel every so often, but it's him and his wife. And he actually in January 2020, he had 0 real estate experience. Like he had never done anything in this space. He's tried a 30-day challenge, and day 2 of that challenge was go download Deal Machine. And since then, he's actually done over 400 deals using Deal Machine since January 2020. He's got a team of 7 now, drivers for him. It's wild, man. So it's fun to be able to share stories like that of people getting out there and like just taking the simple, like he's not doing anything crazy. He's using the mail postcard templates that come preloaded in Deal Machine. It's just he's putting in the work, he's putting in the processes, and he's using the shovel to be able to dig like that. So
yeah, that's just what I'm trying to share. Like I think a lot of people watch this, and everyone tries to scale up to like kind of where I'm at, where everyone else is at, and they just think it's like 2 paths. I want people to understand, like, you add Driving for Dollars on there, it's going to be amazing. But I can't find this guy online anymore. But yeah. So
one thing really quick here, I saw somebody had a question about comps. I can show that off too for you guys. But I don't want to jump too far all over the place. I'm happy to still show the virtual stuff if you want, Zach. Or I can jump into
the comps real quick.
Okay, that's fair. So let's see. I've got, here we go, leads right here. So if I just jump into my leads, and again, each different tab is a different list. I can import any kind of list that I want here. Just open that list right here, and you'll see them continue to pop up. And again, you can drive that list to reverse D for D and, leave sticky notes, door knock, all that stuff on it. But as you go through this here, each individual lead, the goal here is, yes, you want to drive for dollars, you want to virtual drive for dollars, you want to, reverse drive for dollars, you want to list build, or use List Builder. You have all these ways to build a great list. You have skip tracing and mail to reach out to those people, which I'll show off exactly how to do that here in a second. But once you're in the door, once you're in, you've gotten through and you're actually talking to the seller at that point, like, hey, let's help you close the deal. And, one way to do that and be extremely confident in the numbers that you're giving and in the breakdown of what their property is worth is through this comps button right here. So this is with every single individual or every single Deal Machine plan starter gets it and everything too. But when you look at a lead, you hit this comps button right here and you'll see immediately, and let me make this a little bigger for you. And this looks exactly the same on the phone as well.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the main differentiators between us and just anything else out there is mobile. Like everything we do is updated to really be optimized for mobile because we know you're out there driving. We know you're, busy going from, appointments and going on the go, and you'll have a conversation. You need to pull the comps up right there. Like it's all looking like this on the phone too. But as you go right here, you can go in and filter and say, yeah, show me all the comps, from the last 6 months. In this market, I'd probably say the last, maybe, month or two, I might adjust that. You can say the range, you can say your bill, Bed Bath, all of that, use the MLS data. Cool. And then go in and just hit start drawing and draw around my property right now, right here. And as you do that, you can see, okay, cool. I've got 3 comps pulled up in a nice part of town here, but I got 3 comps pulled up. And you can see based on that, it'll automatically calculate, and you can select and deselect those comps. It'll automatically calculate the average dollars per square foot based on that, apply that to your property, and then say, here's your estimated value based on those comps right around you.
That's
so
beautiful.
You can use that, right on the go. One other thing, let's see if we can pull this up. So if you hit, let's see, it depends on the market if you have access to this or not. But you've got, okay, those two don't. Let's see if this one's got anything. Here we go. So you actually do have, this one's recently sold in April. You can click into a property here, hit view, and pull up photos right here. And you can see all the MLS photos taken of that property right in the app too. So that's another way to be able to say, hey, yeah, like here's what your property is worth, the ARV. Well, hey, you've got, 50K, 100K of work that's got to be done, based on these photos. Like here's the property that they sold and what it was worth. All right, here's what you can do the math in front of them to show them, hey, here's the spread that we need that needs to be discounted to be able to do that. So people use it as a really strong negotiating tool to look at days on market, to look at the condition of a property, and just do it on the go right in front of them on their phone and be extremely confident to know that you're putting in a good offer and not going in blind. So
I love it. I think this is most important if you're a non-disclosure state like Kansas, Texas. That's probably the most powerful one because it's like any Joe Schmo go to Zillow, Realtor.com and look at it. But like if you're in any of those states, you're kind of stuck, right? So I think that's going to be probably the most powerful part when it comes to like MLS access for comps. So yeah, I just wanted to add that on there.
Yeah, that's a really good point too. But awesome, cool. Let's see. Anything else on the question side before I keep rolling for you guys? Or
not really. I mean, I've answered some of these questions before.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm getting questions with between CropStream, Deal Machine. It's all in freehosting.com. They're just tools, and some of them are similar, some overlap, and some don't overlap. But like I gotta say, if you're strictly doing drawing for dollars, if you're strictly kind of adding that stuff in there, which I think everyone should, it's gonna be the best one out there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. I found the skip tracing between those two softwares are pretty much very similar. I haven't done any extensive like crazy tests with them, but use Deal Machine, you'll get their phone number all the time. So I've done a bunch of testing on it, but honestly, like it's depending on what you want to do, right? So I get so many people that will download like a PropStream, right? And they'll spend it, I don't know, $100 for it. They're like, shoot, I don't have $300 to skip trace this cold calling list or do all I got like $100 this month, right? My budget's $100 a month. For a lot of softwares you pull, $100 really is not going to get you far because that's sometimes just the cost per month of the software. So if I pay for Deal Machine, I only have $100. I might put 50 in a Deal Machine, then 50 literally just on gas, and I can make it work $100. Like I can make that work, right? And I can get leads, deals, everything from there, right? If I True People search the phone, like it's hard for a lot of other softwares out there. So I kind of want to I've been telling everyone to go to Deal Machine for like 3-4 years. I just go to Deal Machine, whatever. And I'm like, wait, I need people to get some free stuff while they do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's kind of the point on it, right? But the thing is, like, if you only have $100, like, there is a tool for you to get it going, right? Because people have jobs, like they can't spend all this time doing it by themselves. So it's like, I think that's why I think it's a good partnership. Why I'm kind of sharing it, because like if you only have $100, every software, every guru tells you like it's not going to be the cure all, right? But for like $100, I think it's going to be the best way to spend $100, hands down. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is because like even with that low budget, you get MLS comps. If you're in a non-disclosure state, right, you can just pop people's things up. You're kind of not in the dark. That's, I can rant about it all day, but guys, you're not drawing for dollars enough. And if you're asking me how many drawing for dollars leads I need, the answer is always more. Okay. It's always more. So as many as you can.
Yeah. Love that. I mean, and appreciate you spreading the word, sharing us all these years too, Zach. And I mean, I think, on our end too, like you said, I mean, it's, in terms of just what makes us unique in general, I think it is, it's the low cost piece. Everything we do, again, our mission is to give everyone the power of real estate investing, right? So with that mission, you need to be extremely easy to use, extremely simple, very much, as low cost as possible, mobile friendly. Like our mobile app is the most updated, the highest rated, the most reviewed out there. Our support team, our community, all of that together is really, I think, what makes us unique. But we really hang our hat on that most rated and highest reviewed, stat in general. I'm really proud of that. So
I'm telling you, I didn't even know what Deal Machine was when I started out in wholesaling, but I started talking to people just around wholesaling when I started out. And I'm like, how do you get this deal? How do you do the Deal Machine? I drove it all. I'm like, what? This one guy, I did 15 deals this year. I'm like, how? I'm like, Deal Machine. I'm like, what's Deal Machine? Like, I didn't understand it. And then I look it up. And I'm like, let me talk to this guy. Right. And like, Dave, like, that's how I get this. Like, I didn't know about Deal Machine just because like, I wanted to like talk, like people just keep doing deals off. I'm like, all right, well, let me check this out. Right. And I think that's kind of how I organically found you guys. And then I start using it, doing deals from them. I'm like, okay, deal. So yeah, man, that's just kind of how I figure this stuff out. But good question right here. Let's see here. So we got someone in New York City, right? Like, so if I'm in New York City and I want to do some power drawing for dollars, like what do I do, right?
Good question. All right. So you've got a couple options here. If you're in New York, I would say, you can either, pull a list, which we were showing off there for a minute. So you can pull a list in any market. B, you can, if you want to take driving for dollars as the strategy, you could hire a driver in another market, which we see a lot of people do that as well and go in and just to show
it all. Cool. No, it's not, no one virtually is like, you can hire a guy in like, Kansas City, St. Louis to do that. And it's insane.
Yeah. And you can just go in like this top right here where your profile is, click team, just add that email, invite by email, and they're already in Deal Machine add leads for you. They can just log in and go that way. So that's one option. Or what's really, really cool, and this is always just fun and basically clicking for dollars. It's fun, simple, easy. It's the same idea of driving for dollars and looking for physically distressed properties, right? But you can do it right inside the app. So let me try this here, Zach. Let me know, can you see this here? Hopefully.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Awesome. There we go. So let me expand this for you guys.
For dollars. So, I like that.
There we go. Yeah. I'm saying you're clicking for cash, clicking for dollars. There we go. And same idea. Like you can see the map, moves as you move, and you turn and, very similar to how you would, as you're driving around physically. You click down the street and you can see, and there's actually, so to give a couple of pro tips for people in general too. Virtual driving for dollars, this is something you can do, in any market, from anywhere, from your couch. If you have a really bad weather market, maybe you, especially in the winter, or maybe you've got a day job where it's just hard to drive during the day, hard to look at properties during the day. Like this is a really, really solid way to do it.
Well, if you stop right there, I want everyone to understand that little thing right there, photo taken.
Yep.
No one like ever has that. I just want to break that like that. That's probably the most important part when it comes to that. Because I think that's where I see most people fail.
That's a big pro tip. Like as you drive down the street, again, like you're seeing the route go behind you, so like where to go and where you have gone and all that. But looking at this, like this photo taken right here, that, I would say if you're in one of the top 50 to 100 markets, Google does drive your market at once every year or so. So you're highly likely in a market, if you're in that size, of a place that has recent photos. But that is absolutely key to know, because like, hey, if you look at that picture, you want to know, is this taken 3 months ago or 3 years ago? And even if it was taken 3 years ago, the deal's not necessarily the lead's not necessarily.
And he's popping in and out, but pretty much like what he's talking about there is like,
And know that,
there you
okay,
go.
if this was in really bad shape 3 years ago and it has not sold since then hey, they're still owned by the same people. It might still be a pretty solid lead there. If it has changed hands, if it has been sold since then hey, okay, you're probably not wanting to add that lead. So, but the exact same thing of like, hey, drive down the street, hit add lead, and boom, you've got the pin popping up right there. So, awesome, man. So I'd say the virtual D4D, again, with any of these, with anything on, whether you're physically driving or virtually driving for dollars, use a couple of these things that I showed off here. Use the highlights button, because that's your friend of being able to use data to really help know where to drive, and you can even turn it on while you're driving. This top left button right here, you can hit that and say, yeah, just light up all the absentee owned properties around me. And that way, when you actually drive around and be able to drive down the street, you can look and see and say, hey, yeah, like if I drive down here, I know this 5180 right here. Click on that. That's a property that's absentee owned. So it helps kind of give you a little bit of information to know, hey, this looks like a potentially pretty good, potentially a good lead here. The roof needs a little bit of work, things like that. So.
Awesome.
If you have that on, you'll be able to see, it's a green line behind you. If you have driven it within the last 6 months, after 6 months, it turns yellow, and after a year, it turns red. So you can zoom out and look at the map and say like, hey, where have I driven? Where do I need to drive? Or, really kind of use that as a way to plan your routes and just be really efficient. Right. And then last but not least, the driver, like adding drivers, the driver recruitment, the driver training, all that stuff. If you're going to scale, like that's the best way to scale this list. So
I love it. And I think one thing that's pretty important, she kind of highlighted before, I've had deals where like on 3 streets in a year, I've done like 3 or 4 deals, right? And it's a smaller market too. And the point is like, we have driving for dollars leads where we call them up. They don't want to sell, right? But we keep that list and we call it like 3-4 months later, and then they want to sell, right? It's sometimes not about getting that list, calling them and say, no, it's gone forever. I'll drive for dollars next year. I think if you have a driving for dollars lead, you should definitely every 3 or 4 months just re-hit that list. And I think that's one big mistake I think a lot of people make. And it's always in that follow-up.
Oh yeah, I mean, we have plenty of people who they've used Deal Machine. They built a list a couple of years ago, and are revisiting those leads and getting calls from those people now. Like people who the market's appreciated and they're ready to sell now. So it absolutely the goal there is to be able to market to them long term. Now I can share this, Zach, for you guys. Like I know I talked about that marketing mix of like short-term and long-term marketing outreach, putting together both of those things to really be successful. If I click on the leads tab right here, again, these are all leads that I've added, whether it be through the desktop version or through my mobile app. They sync up and I'll add right there. But when looking at this, when you click view lead, you get both of those options right here. You get the short-term marketing outreach, which is skip tracing, which we've talked about a couple times here. If you hit skip trace, it pings our database. And like you said, it's, our data is, you're not going to find anything better out there. Like there really are only a couple places that provide this type of data. And, we just make it easy to be able to use that, to use it as a tool. Right. But when you hit skip trace, it comes back and it will say, okay, here are phone numbers, email addresses, other mailing addresses, ways to get in touch with this owner. And that's what I mean by that short-term marketing outreach. It's you have quick response options right here where you can go in, you can look and see, hey, here's a potential deliverable email address. And hey, out of all these phone numbers, it'll come in and we give you premium data. We give you data around, is it connected? Is it disconnected? Is it on the do not call list? Is it landline, mobile? What's the caller ID? You know, it tells you all of that right there. So you can come in and see like, yeah, this number is connected. The caller ID matches the name. It's mobile is probably the best number. Like start there, and you know you've got, you know, right on the spot, one off skip trace, boom. You can make a call, make a text, you know, and you know, use that as your first line of how to get in front of people.
Awesome.
And then combining that, so that's the short term outreach. Combine that with your long term outreach, where on this side you've got the start mail button. And start mail, again, like, you know, the goal with this is to stay top of mind with owners. It's to come in and, you know, you've reached out to them, maybe you left a voicemail, you texted them, maybe you left, you know, maybe you've reverse drove for dollars and you left a sticky note on their door or a door hanger, maybe even knocked on the door, whatever you did. Hit start mail. And especially if they say like, hey, you know, maybe in the future, you know, now it's not the right time, or, you know, anything like that, to be able to say, oh yeah, soon, you know, anything where they are, you know, don't have the solid timeline yet for you. Hitting start mail inside Deal Machine, this is going to go in, and the default is every 21 days, but it'll come in, and this is where you can set it and forget it. Like, this is how you scale your marketing outreach, is by hitting send mail. And, you know, you can come in here, you can change the template, change it to any postcard on here, and it'll automatically send these postcards to that owner and, you know, repeat send. So that way, again, you're putting yourself in the right position. So that way, when they do feel that need, when they do have some, you know, some problem that you can come in and solve, like that they think of you, that they've saved your postcard in the pile, that they've saved your number, that they've, you know, put the postcard on the fridge, or like, you know, they are the, you know, they think of you first because you were right place, right time with that piece of mail that you sent.
And I can customize those dates, right?
Yeah. So you can go in here, you can customize it right here, or here, let me pause so I don't actually send mail here. But this mail tab right here, so you can do a ton in the mail center. So you click on that. In the mail center, you can see, you know, number of active leads, pause leads, all of that. You can see what mailers are scheduled to send out and what you've sent recently. So it's kind of your go-to place to manage everything that you've done right here. And then inside of the mail, you know, here as well, you can go to postcards, and clicking postcards, you can actually see we've got, you know, a ton of different templates that are default in here. And, you know, these different templates as well, these are the ones that, like I mentioned, Ryan Haywood, the guy who's done 400 deals using Deal Machine, he's just using these standard templates. He's going in, you can set your first choice or edit the design and get really specific of like the type of text you wanted to say, the picture, all of that stuff, and really use this as almost like a little mini Photoshop inside the app. But really the idea behind this is, hey, you know, make it really easy on yourself. Just use the templates that are set up for success right there. And you can even adjust the size. You know, you got larger postcards, you've got ballpoint letters where you can create a handwritten postcard or handwritten letter and get really specific there. So in terms of the mail that you can send, you can get all kinds of, you know, creative and things like that to up your response rate. But in the end, like simply just hitting send mail and set it and forget it and let it do its work, that's going to put you in a position to succeed.
Awesome. Cool.
Awesome, man. Cool. Well, really, the last thing I wanted to show off, unless, you know, there are other questions that, you know, I want to be able to show off stuff for. The last thing I want to really show off is in this leads tab right here. This is something that, you know, I would say is kind of that third step for people. Like you're out there, you're either driving for dollars, virtually driving, using List Builder, reverse driving for dollars. Like you're doing something to build a list. Then you are marketing that list. You know, you're skip tracing, you're calling, text, you know, door knock, you're, you know, sending postcards, you're doing all that. That's kind of phase 2. Phase 3 of what we see being the, you know, separating everyone who is doing this consistently, who are doing consistent deals. It's this tab right here. It's staying organized and really managing your pipeline of leads that you're looking at here. And this is the thing, like you've got a lot of powerful things that you can do in this view. Like you can, you know, going into it, you can add leads and, you know, import a list. You can go in and actually export a list too by just clicking that and hit export leads as well. So you can kind of use this as a way to add and subtract leads. I know we talked about tags a little bit there, where you can go in and actually filter and say, yeah, let me filter by tags right here and by high priority, and confirm that and see like, okay, how many leads did I tag high priority? Like, let me start there and call those leads first. And you can, send again the one-off mailers or in bulk by just clicking that and send, start mail in bulk. So you've got a lot of really powerful things you can do here. I would say to stay organized, I think the biggest key is using the notes right here. And what you want to do to really make that a simple process is, say I go in, I filtered by high priority, I call this person right off the bat, I have a good conversation, I go into activity right here, I can hit add and then add note. And add note, this is an easy way that you can really build that relationship with them. Like if they talked about their kids, put notes in there about that. If they talked about the situation they're dealing with, stay organized by putting notes in there for that. Like use this as kind of your go-to place to do that, or even say, hey, I left a voicemail today. Cool. Make it really simple and easy and just stay organized that way. So, using the notes section is a really, again, not rocket science, but it's making it easy for you to build that relationship with people and refer back to your notes anytime you talk to that owner. And, you're able to do that. And then in combo also manage your pipeline through using the use of tasks. And, you've got add right here and add task as well. These tasks, this is where you can go in and just say, hey, go on appointment today. Do that. Cool. I have to do this, tomorrow. We'll say today at 4 p.m. All right, cool. Create that task for myself. And now I know that when I jump into Deal Machine, I'll look right here. I'll see my tasks up in the top right corner and I can click on that and see what I've got to do today. Okay, cool. I got to visit this property. I got to go on this appointment and I'm never going to miss a lead again. Like I'm going to use this to stay organized, to take notes, to add tasks for myself and really manage my pipeline, as you would a business really, and make it so that way you are the one always following through, always able to do that thing that you tell that seller you're going to do next.
Awesome.
So cool. Let's see. Good question. List stacking. Stevie James put that is list stacking available. Yes, there is. So if you go in here, let me clear this out. So clear all. Cool. You'll be able to see, like, let me find a list that's got that on there for you. Here you go. So this list right here, you'll see these numbers pop up next to every single lead, right? You've got like the ones right here, from a lot of these, but this list, you can see 2s and 3s. That is the list stacking right inside the app. So when you go to that, you can click on that button and see, oh, this property was in both of these lists right here. This property was in all 3 of these lists. This one's in all 3 of these lists. So, if for those unfamiliar, like the idea of list stacking is that every single list that a property is on is another sign of motivation. It's another sign that they could have, it's this one right here. It's an owner type. It's a particular owner type, an equity percentage. It's, certain units count. It's things like that where if you import, say, for example, if you import a list of leads right here, you imported a list from somewhere, then you drove for dollars and then you use List Builder and say that property was on all 3 of those lists, you can click on that and realize, man, that's got a lot of different areas that I have added this to. That's a highly, potentially high motivated lead. And it's a way to really score those leads and know, where do I start? What leads do I start reaching out to? Reach out to the ones that are on a bunch of lists. So
awesome. Yeah.
Did you, I was going to say, do you talk about list stacking that much, Zach?
Yeah, I talk about it all the time.
There we go.
If you can add 2 motivating factors on a list, it's amazing.
Yeah. So that all combines automatically right there for you. So that's all inside the app and, included with, with every deal, Deal Machine starter gets that. So
beautiful. And then, yeah, one thing I wanted to show really quick, if it's okay, I just have the app right here. I was just going to show people what it looks like. If you can, comment.
Good.
I turned my location off, so you don't see, where I'm at. But yeah, this is just like, I don't know where this is at. I think it's Oklahoma, but like, it's pretty much the same as, like, if you really look at the web version. I can kind of I can click drive, start driving, then I just tap on there, pop it up, stuff. Equity. What? Holy moly, that one's got no equity in it. But like, I can tap on something like here, click it, right? Stuff pops up, right? So yeah, it's right. It's pretty similar.
Yep. Yeah, and you've got the drive right there. You've got free drive, virtual D4D, so you can virtual D4D on your phone from your couch like that. Or you've got planned route mode, which that planned route would be that's driving a list. That's going in, and when you hit that, you can just say, hey, which list do you want to drive? Boom, it'll take GPS to drive that list for you.
Yeah, boom. So I just want to show people real quick what the kind of the app looked like. It's very similar.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, I've got to answer that. Let's see. We've got somebody asked about the referral code that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen there. That's going to get you.
Yeah, or you can use Zach, ZACH, if like
Mhm.
you just want to type stuff in. But DM Zach just kind of does it all for you.
Yep. The images updated. That again, every property is daily updating in terms of the data there. Let's see, is there a CRM built in? That leads tab is kind of the CRM, version of what people are doing to manage those leads. So they're in there, they're assigning tasks, they're taking notes, they're filtering out leads, they're using it as a pipeline management tool. I think that answered most of the questions there.
So guys, if you want to check it out, just go to dmzach.com. That's probably gonna be the fastest way to go try it out. And what do you get with that?
Yeah, so we got a couple options. I want to share some fun stuff that we're going to be able to do here for this audience specifically too. Yeah. So dmzach.com, they get $30 in free marketing credits if they go that route. So you've got those marketing credits that go towards the skip tracing. So that's a couple hundred skip traces for free. You've got, or postcards that goes toward the postcards. So you've got like 50-ish postcards for free if you use dmzach.com, which you wouldn't get any of that if you just went through our website normally. And it's a 7-day free trial too. So if you just want to try us out for free, get a bunch of free stuff, start talking, directly to owners like this, start building that list, start reaching out to people, just go that route. If you are ready to really invest in yourself, really commit to taking massive action and saying, hey, I'm going to land a deal, before the end of the year and beyond. I'm going to use Zach's free info that he gives out every single day. You guys pump out so much good stuff. You're going to use what you did today or what you learned today, use this technology to really buy right and, really buy killer deals. We did set up, it's dealmachine.com/Zach. So dealmachine.com/Zach. That actually gives you all the free marketing credits. And it's a 1 year of Deal Machine. So it's D for D, it's virtual D for D up to 10,000 leads. It's MLS data, it's MLS comps that I was showing off. It's all the data updating every day. It's the CRM pipeline stuff I was showing off, like the list stacking, the tags, the tasks, notes, all that stuff. All of that for a year, which that alone is worth over $700. And then you also get our route tools upgrade for free for a year, which that's the route tracking, the highlights feature I was showing off, the driving a list, so reverse D for D. And that's all an upgrade. So if you do that, that's worth nearly $600 right there. So all of that in value, that if you go to that link, it would be $590 total to get over $1,300 in value for about over half off for the year. So for people who are ready to fully commit, if that, I would say you're going to get a way better deal than anything on our site if you go through that link. So it's just dealmachine.com/Zach. And I would say that would be the other route. If you're going to fully dive into this, go that way. I will say one exciting thing, Zach, if you're up for it, I'd love to do a giveaway with that if you're if that works, man.
Do it.
So basically, if you're deciding if you're going to go that route, if you're going to commit to yourself from that perspective and purchase this before Monday, so we'll do the drawing on Monday, and you've made the choice, hey, I want to go through this, and there were alone the ROI of this should be getting the deal itself, right? But if you do go that route and do the dealmachine.com/Zach before Monday, I will randomly select one of the people who bought that deal, and you'll get it for free. So we'll go through and I will refund your purchase. You'll get access to all of that still, because you've said yes, you've committed to yourself to making it to doing this. But I want to surprise somebody and give them free access and really reward those taking action. So I know you give a ton of free knowledge, man. I love that you're teeing us up to be a great tool to help people out on taking action on that knowledge. And I want to be able to give that away to people too. So if you actually take that deal, I will select one of you. We'll do a random drawing, and on Monday morning, somebody will get that for free. So
awesome. I love it. Yeah. But yeah, guys, don't feel obligated. You have to go use Deal Machine to be successful. I always tell everyone, try a free trial. If you don't want to try, if you just want to just see it, just try it. And obviously, there's a million ways to make $1 million. This is just a tool. And if something you want to do, I use it. You can use it. You can try it out for free. But yeah. Awesome. So dmzack.com, or I got the link in there if you guys want to try out that offer. Dealmachine.com/Zach for the software there. But yeah, I'm excited. Someone's getting some free Deal Machine, so I'm happy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I want to give that away, and they get it for a full year. So again, like you said, if you want to try it out, just do dmzack.com. But if you're like, okay, I want to fully commit to it, like go this route, then just through our website, because this is a literally a 50% better deal in terms of everything you get. So wanted to hook you guys up. Hopefully if you didn't get to see this, make sure to, go back and rewatch it. I tried to give the full deep dive, like ultimate demo rundown of everything that we do.
That's for a year, right? The /Zach.
Yeah, the dealmachine.com/Zach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that'd be a full year Deal Machine. And then yeah, like I said, Monday morning will be when we do the drawing. So we'll do that giveaway then, and excited to give somebody a full year of it, man.
And how much is that the discount on the regular one?
It's over 50%
right?
discount. Yeah, 55% discount.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yep.
Share my screen.
Yeah, the main thing is you'll get D4D or all the stuff I showed off and all of the upgraded route tools. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, you've got Driving for Dollars. Oh,
all right,
there you go. Yeah, so that Deal Machine starter, which is up to 10,000 leads for Driving for Dollars, virtual D4D, all the MLS data, the MLS comps, the CRM stuff, the route tools, so like route tracking, map highlights, drive a list, all of that, and then the marketing credits. So yeah, wanted to hook you guys up.
Awesome. I like it. So you guys check it out. And I think Matt's a pretty available guy if you got questions about Deal Machine, right?
Yeah, if you just Matt@dealmachine.com, feel free to throw that in the chat too. That's my email. I'm a resource for you guys. So, my whole role is to make you all more successful. So, hit me up and I'm here to answer questions. So
awesome. Is this it?
Yep. That's it right there.
Yeah. Check him out. Email him if you got any questions, but yeah, it's exciting. Matt, I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
We'll see more of you on the channel, but yeah, I really appreciate it. Check it out, guys. It'll be pretty cool. But yeah, Matt, appreciate you hopping on, giving your time. And yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.